In this video, I share everything I wish I knew when starting out on Redbubble and what helped me make my first $1,000 selling designs in my shop. Now let's get into the video. First, for absolute beginners, you should know that everything, especially print on demand, takes time. Most creators or designers' works don't become popular overnight, and you have to continually build up your portfolio and have patience. Some people get lucky designing things that Redbubble's algorithm loves, but that's not always guaranteed. And others, like me for instance, had to wait a little bit longer for your work to put off. So you're putting in a lot of time up front, and then down the line it'll pay off and you'll start making money from it. So you have to remain patient and consistent, and also be open to experimentation until you find something that works well for you and for your shop. Another thing you want to focus on is your branding. So your shop name, your banner, and your shop profile icon, you want to make sure those are all consistent, that they convey the essence of what you want your brand to be. For branding, this could include your color scheme, maybe like for your banner icon, the font you use, something that makes it stand out and makes people want to look at your shop. When starting out, you could choose to think of this as a hobby, or you can do what I'm doing and actually create a brand for yourself. So mine is Mariah M Design. That's my shop name, that's my business name, and everything I do revolves around that. And now going into selling, we're going to start off with products. I will go into my experience. I started by making designs that were trendy, like on the Redbubble homepage, or you can look on the search bar and you'll see things that are trending that week in searches. And I made designs based off of that. And there's videos on that. If you search Redbubble trending products, there are creators that post videos on that pretty much weekly, so those should be easy to find. And another thing I did before I started selling, I found a lot of creators that I liked whose designs were doing well, and I looked to what they were doing, what type of products were selling for them, what type of quotes were popular, and I used that as inspiration for my designs. Next thing is to be strategic and move fast. To do this, you can either target smaller niches in the beginning with lower competition, and so that means you would be the first person to make something for that trend, and that way you can get to something before it's overly saturated. Like for instance, if there is a trend on TikTok, which is an app I use all the time, if you're one of the first people to make a design based off of that quote or that song that's popular, when people search for it on Redbubble, your designs will come up first and you'll get more sales that way. So that's a strategy you can use. And by moving fast, just uploading consistently, uploading a lot of products, especially in the beginning, and staying on top of those trends. Take advantage of social media. This is something that I didn't do initially. I started my shop last year in like January or February. Only started my social media stuff in August, and that's when my shop actually started taking off. So I know that there's correlation there. For me, posting on TikTok has been really useful in getting more traffic to my shop, and also building a small but semi-loyal following of people interested in my art and designs. And if you have a consistent portfolio of works or quotes or designs, they'll come to expect that and look forward to new things that you're creating. Maybe you want to see the behind the scenes, and all of that can lead to more people clicking on your links and checking out your products. And if you don't have an Instagram or TikTok for your shop or Pinterest, I'd consider starting those like now. You can add a link to your shop in the bio of each profile, and that can lead customers directly to you as opposed to just simply relying on Redbubble. I also had a few TikToks blow up and get at least like 10 to 20,000 views, and a lot of people checked out my shops from that, and that was a huge deal for me in August and led to an increase in followers, likes, and sales on my shop. So please do not underestimate social media. It can completely change your sales and growth trajectory. I might make a video on that in the future, like how I use social media. Again, if you're kind of scared to start, just start, figure it out as you go. You might have a video that goes viral, who knows? And going along with social media, there's also Pinterest, which is more of a search engine and inspirational mood board app. And I didn't start using Pinterest until the end of last year, but I did notice an increase in traffic to my shop when I started putting products on Pinterest. And I can make a video on how I do this. It's really easy for Redbubble in particular because they give you all of the images to use. Like, they give you mock-ups of all of your products, and you can just download all of them and then upload whatever ones you want to Pinterest. If you want that video on how I use Pinterest or social media, comment that down below, and we'll move on. The next thing you should do, especially when starting out, is upload products frequently. You never know what designs might take off. So if you're starting out, you probably don't want to stick to one niche. You might want at least a few broader topics, at least until you know what your audience likes, what people buying your stuff want from you. But until then, just try everything. You can try designs as simple as quotes, or you can experiment with different types of designs and see what works for you. Next thing, please enable all products, even if you don't think they'll sell. Like, people have bought mugs from me. I did not think those would sell, but that ended up being one of my top items. I was just going to initially use Redbubble for stickers. My top selling products ended up being tapestries and mugs. So if I had just stuck with selling stickers, I would not have made nearly as much as I have. Also, both of the products mentioned have higher margins than stickers, so I was able to make quite a more significant amount than I would have selling stickers, where the margin for me was like between 10 to 20 cents when I was first starting out. I've since increased my margins, so I make a little bit more. Definitely try selling things like t-shirts, prints, tapestries, things that will give you a higher return. This leads to the next part, which goes along with enabling products, but adjusting your margins. Redbubble naturally has margins around 25%, but I decided to adjust my margins. I increased them to 30% for all of my products, and then I went in on the ones that were selling more, like my tapestries and stickers, and I bumped those up a little bit more so that I will be making a decent profit, because 25% is not that much. Like, for a sticker or something that costs $1, you'll get 25 cents, and you can easily increase that, and people will probably still buy it. Of course, test it out. Don't put your stuff too high. Compare it to other people. Compare it to what others are selling their stuff for, especially in your niche, because a lot of prices, they can be different. So make sure that you do some competitive research and see what works. Yeah, just see what you can see what the top selling products cost for your niche specifically, and then base your prices off of theirs. And lastly, this is something that Redbubble gets on and also just bothers me as an artist myself. Please do not steal other artists, other creatives' artwork. Even if it's just a simple quote design, please do not steal that and take it for yourself or slightly change it and mimic it. Please have your own original ideas, or if you do want to do things like collages or anything, just make sure you're not directly copying someone else, that you have your own take on it, your own spin. I personally would stay away from things that can be deemed as copyright infringement. That's my suggestion for you. I know a lot of people on the app still do that. They make fan art. I used to do fan art, so I understand. I'm now sticking to designs that I've made myself, which is harder, especially when starting out, because you don't have a loyal fan base yet. It's harder to get sales that way as compared to designing things you know people are going to be searching for. So definitely weigh the pros and cons, but just be safe if you're going to go that route. I have a video on why I decided to stop selling fan art and copyrighted designs, and by that I mean like using Disney or TV shows, movies, characters, things like that in my designs. but I still just wanted to be safe, and I want you all to be safe as well. So I will link that video on the screen. It is, but it'll be going across the screen. And I also suggest you just briefly look up copyright laws, look up what Redbubble has to say on it. Make sure you're not doing anything that could get you in serious trouble. Those are my tips for how I started taking Redbubble seriously, started making more sales. Remember to click the like button and subscribe if you want more Redbubble or print-on-demand content, more finance and passive income related content from me, and comment down below video suggestions since I'm just starting out, and I will see you in my next video.